Afternoon folks, welcome back to Ed's Shed. Still feeling a bit under the weather, but we'll carry it through. Today is some little tips, ideas and suggestions for all the young pups, all the whippersnappers, all the people that are starting out in camping, are going through all the YouTubes, going through the catalogues, thinking what to buy, what not to buy. It's just a few ideas on that sort of thing. So what we're going to do is we'll start off with, I'll just show you a little idea that will save you money, save you time, save you this, save you that. Tent pegs that you get of all tents, you never need to use all the pegs, so you'll always have 2 or 3 spare. I always have. Right, so tent pegs, 1, 2 and 3. None of my tent pegs are the same. They've been collected for over the years. They're different widths, different lengths, different shapes at the top, but you collect them over the years. So we'll start off with this cooker. It's the only cooker I'm going to get. You've seen my other cookers, or my other cooker. There are all types of different cookers you can buy. This is called a Trangia cooker. Let me just take the top off for you. That's a lid. Right, that's a lid. I'll show you that in a minute. But there it is. There's the cooker. Take the top off, and that's basically all it is. It's got tiny holes around the top. You fill the inside full of methylated spirits and you set light to it. That's it. I'm not going to show you burning. Set light to it and flames come out. Here you go. This is the lid, and what it do is the lid goes on top. When it's fully closed, that puts the fire out, but when it says you can regulate the flame by, you know, having it half open, fully open, whatever. I don't know anybody that uses it like that. I think they use it like that. They put that on when they want the flame to go out. It just starves the flame of oxygen, puts the flame out. Anyway, right. So there you go. You don't need all the fancy gizmos that go with it. You only need one of these to cook food and to boil water. One of these, a couple of tent pegs, so basic. What are these, about £5, something like that? Anyway, I'll show you quickly how you set these up with these in the ground so you can cook food, and then we'll go on to some other ideas. So let's go. So, welcome back. That was just a little idea, just to show you. You don't need high-tech stuff. You don't need high-tech cookers and all the stuff and all that. If you're just starting out in camping, keep it cheap, keep it basic, keep it low budget. Just keep it as simple and easy as you possibly can. The idea with the free, I did 4 then. The idea with the free tent pegs is very, very simple. You've got tent pegs. All you need is 1 pot, a little Trangia cooker that you can buy off Amazon for about I think about £5, really cheap. I think the most expensive part is the methylated spirits that you put in it. Can't get away from that. You need some fuel in it. Don't be tempted to put some petrol in there or anything else. Just use methylated spirits. That's what they're built for. That's what they're made for. Use it. Okay. All right. The second thing, you've got your cooker. You got your flame. Well, you haven't got flames yet. You got your cooker. You got your fuel and all that. I've got, as you've seen, or go back and have a look at some previous videos. Unless that's go back and have a look, I don't know. Go back and have a look at some previous videos. At I've got a lighter that man make flame that I use to light my cooker, light my burner and all that. Or another cooker is your ex-army or your army surplus tin with your little blocks of cooker. They're like barbecue lighters. You put them in there. They're really good. I started off with one of those. Brilliant. And to be honest, I don't tell anyone. It's just between me and you. I remember one year we went over to somewhere over Cambridgeshire way, and it was snowing. It was bloody cold. It was just so cold. And I got one of these army cookers, lit the fuel things. I lit about 8 of them. The flames aren't very big, so you know I was erring on the side of stupidity, but I'd in the ground bit, the porch bit of the tent, it was just ground, no ground sheet, just earth, and I lit one of these in the porch bit, shut all the doors, and it was surprising how much warmth you got off of one of these little cookers. Anyway, that's beside the point, sweetheart. So anyway, I've got a lighter that I use to ignite the fuel to give you flame, man like flame. Now I've seen all these YouTube videos, and I'm not going to knock it. I'm not going to knock it. You guys, you do a great job. You're survivalists, and you've got all the gear, and you can go and live in the wilderness for, I don't know, 6 months at a time. You can bring down a full loaded bison or a big tooth rabbit and all that game. I'm not knocking that. I envy you in a way because I can't do that. But you've all got these Striker flint lighters, and you're promoting them. Use a lighter. If you're starting out, use a lighter. They're so cheap. Lighters are pennies. So just use a lighter until you build up for, you know, build up of your kit and all that stuff. Just use a lighter. It's so easy. Flick, light, done. Man, have flame. Anyway, so now you've got your cooker, you got your fuel, you got your flames, you got your, you know, you've lit it and all that. Your pot. I'm going to give you a little tip, a little tipette, in fact. It doesn't matter what pot you use. You could use one of your old granny's pots from her kitchen. It really doesn't matter. If you can boil food, if you can boil liquid, or do anything like that, then you can eat, you can survive. That's all there is to it. And if you're starting out, just start basic. Little tipette. The little tipette was, if you go to IKEA and go in the children's cooking department, they've got stainless steel cookware for kids, and they're tiny. They're you know, sort of so big, and they're ideal for us guys. Us guys that like going camping and getting out there in the wilderness. They're ideal for us because they're so tiny. They pack down tiny, and they're stainless steel. They're not going to rust. They're not going to go funky, and they're ideal for what we want. And some of it, there's like a colander affair that can be adapted. Maybe later on in further videos, friends, stay tuned. They can be adapted to form a wind shield around your the cooker. So if it's a windy day, then you got your windshield around it. You can still carry on cooking. So anyway, that's a little. I think they're about 14 quid for a set of these cooking things. You get a little pot and a shallow pan. Anyway, so there you go. You got your pots. Buy pots from anywhere or nick one of your mum's. I don't know. Just whatever you want to do. All you need is a pot. For me, when you first start out camping, which I did when I was 17, got my first bike, and we all buggered off to Canberra Sands and places like that down on the south coast. We weren't interested in having all the gear and, you know, loading up our bikes with a load of stuff like that. We took basic tent, basic sleeping bag. We didn't even have anything to lay on, and cooking weren't important. We just went down a chippy. So just keep everything basic if you're starting out, because at the end of the day, if you don't like it, you're not lumbered with all this stuff in the shed going, all right, I bought all this stuff and I can't bloody get rid of it. So there you go. Right, so you got your cooker, you got your Man God Flame, you got your pot that you're going to cook it in, or your pan. If you want to go and buy from whichever local hardware store you want to use that's near you, there's plenty of them. Whichever one, I'm not going to advertise any. There's loads of them. But buy a little. I was going to say skillet, but I always say skillet is a cast iron. Just buy a small frying pan, like a little omelette pan like that. Ideal for doing bacon, eggs, sausage, whatever. Anyway, so you got all your gear and you got your pan and your pot. I'd say one little frying pan like that, one pot is all you need to start cooking when you're camping. It's all you need. It really, really is. You need flame, you need a pot, you need a flame, you need somewhere to put your pot, and you need something to put in your pot. Which brings me on to the food. Yes, right, food. I'm of the opinion. Now I've watched a load of people, and they'll take steak, they'll take bacon, they'll take sausages, they'll take spam is good. Take a tin of spam. It's always good. And the overwhelming phrase I hear when anyone ever takes food on a camping trip is, ready? Ziploc bag. Oh dear me. Do you know how much Ziploc bags are? They're bloody expensive. Don't buy a Ziploc bag. Buy a normal sandwich bag. Buy freezer bags. They're really cheap. And then just tie a bloody knot in it. It's easy. So anyway, don't worry about your Ziploc bags. Buy normal freezer bags that are clear. They're good for food. Just tie a knot in it when you put your food in. So that brings me round to the food. Whatever you like to eat. Most people like sausages. Most people like bacon. Sorry, these lammies. Most people like eggs. Again, you're going to watch videos, and if you're starting out on camping, you're going to watch. I mean, you're going to watch YouTube. You're going to watch loads of stuff to get ideas and little notions of what you fancy doing. It. I know. If ever I fancy doing something, I'll watch a few videos first and go, oh yeah, that'll do. That'll a few tips on that. Right. Well. Jolly good. Before you take your food camping away, I'm in the middle of England, so that's away and that's away, that's away and that's away. Everywhere's away from me. It's 3 hours to the coast wherever I go. Anyway, cut your food up, because little bits of food cook quicker than big bits of food. Yeah. I like steak. I like sausage. I like bacon. I like meat. The only thing you can't cut up first is things like your pork chops or anything with a bone. You can't really cut that up first because there's a big bone in the way, baby. Okay. But anything like your steak and your bacon, cut them up first. Cut them into strips. Sausage. Get your sausage out your freezer. Defroster it. I mean, it's going to be defrosted anyway. You're going to keep it in the fridge overnight. You'll be cooking it within a couple of days. You'll be fine. Cut it into slithers. I'll call them slithers. I'll call them like fish finger shapes. I like steak. So what I do with my steak is I'll cut my steak up into the slivers, and then I'll put that in a bag. One thing I might do is when I put it in a bag, I'll season it. I'll put some salt, pepper, and maybe a bit of red wine in there. and whatever you want to do, just season the thing in the bag, and then put it in the fridge. Put it all in the fridge, prepare it all before you go. I know it's a pain in the ass, but it saves you so much time when you're out there. When you're cooking, when you're out in the wilderness, which for me is over there, I'll show you if you like. But for me, when you go out cooking, you don't want to sit too long cooking. The idea is cook it and eat it. You want to eat it because that's what you're doing it for. So cut it into small slivers of steak, sort of fish finger size, and then cook them. They fry in seconds. They really do. When you get the pan, you'll get it nice temperature with your flame underneath. And when you bung that meat in, it's cooking, baby, in seconds. It really is. Right, so you got your gear, you got your pot, you got your flame. Man have flame, or woman have flame. It's kind of like a unisex flame. You got your food. You could take whatever food you like. If you don't take anything you need to cut up first, sausage, bacon, whatever, and you want to take, I take tinned food with me. I take a big, the big soups. I won't mention the names. I think there's 57 varieties. I don't know. Anyway, I'll take a big soup with me. I'll take just a normal soup. I'll take the tins of potatoes or tins of vegetables, a tin of stewed steak maybe. Boof, all in together, or as much as I want in the pot. Boil the pot up till it's nice, hot, sizzling and steaming. Make sure the stuff's steaming hot before you even contemplate shoving it in your gob. And eat it. And that's what I do. If I don't take choppity chop stuff, then I'll take stuff that I can just bung in and eat straight away. I do have a chopping board. I do have the facility to cut food because we'll be coming on to that. Right, so you got all your food, blah, 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 blah. One thing you've got to do before you cook food, unless it's bacon, because bacon depends if it's cheap bacon has a lot of water in it. They pump the water in it to keep the colours and when they say it's sizzling away, that's because it's full of water. It's not better for you, it's just full of water. Anyway, oil. You will need a container to put your oil in. Now, you can either do this two ways. You can either keep the container that it came in. You could buy some small bottles of olive oil. They're tiny. Just keep it in that and then use that. You're going to use it again, so why not? If you want to cut down on space and carrying sort of stuff, if you're hiking, you could buy a little travel soap dispensers, I'll call them. When you go to a chemist or supermarkets, and they've got the travel section in the summer especially, but in supermarkets and chemists, they've got travel sections, and they've got little dispensers that they say can be used for shampoo, liquid soap and all that. But they're ideal for oil. They're ideal for olive oil and whatever you need to take. I do have some with some washing up liquid in it and a little thing of oil in it, and I take that with me, and that's what I use. Anyway, right, so done your cooking and all that. You want to eat it. Now then, I see it time and time again. The word and what they're using is a spork. Really? Spork? How big is a spoon? How big is a fork? You get they're not big. Why bother cutting down on space on things that are already bloody tiny? Just take a knife, fork and spoon with you. If you there's the spork, what a waste of time. Whoever invented that is worth a fortune and is laughing his socks off at all of the guys that go, oh, I bought a spork. I've got a fork one end and a spoon the other. I have to turn it around to eat it. What I saw the other day, my mate's got one and I laughed. He's got it's like a multi tool, and it flicks out a spoon, it flicks out a fork, and it flicks out a knife on the one doohickey, on the one thing. And I'm thinking, well, what happens when you want to hold something and cut it at the same time? What do? You use your finger. Oh, do me a favour. Just take a knife, fork and spoon. It's much easier. There are camping knife, forks and spoons. You get an an army surplus one, or you get them down a camp shop and you buy them there. Honestly, they're about 6 inches long, and they've got the knife, fork and the spoon and a bottle opener and a can opener in the same thing, and it's that big, and they're all separate items, and they take up that much room, and you've got one of each. Brilliant. That's what you want. Don't buy a spork. Don't buy one of these high-tech, highfalutin ideas. Just take a knife and fork. Much easier. Most people, I am included, will take a very sharp knife because they need to cut raw food. So I've got a very sharp knife that I take with me. So I don't need to take a knife. All I need is a fork and a spoon. Tea. It's on the windowsill, so it's cold. Right. Yeah. So there you go. You got your cooking, your food, your eating, everything's hunky dory. Like I said, there's no need to spend an awful lot of money when you're starting out camping, especially when it comes to the cooking side of things. Keep it basic. If you like, you could take cooked food with you. I do. Like my missus, she'll make a curry or a chili or a bolognese or anything like that. And the bit that's left over, or the bit that's excess to what me and her will eat, it will go in the freezer and I'll have it for my lunch another day. Why not? Take it with you. If you take something out of the freezer to eat while you're camping, that acts as a cold or a freezer block. It acts as a freezer block to keep everything nice and cold and fresh. Buy a cool bag. A little sort of, foot long by 6 inch wide cool bag. Cheap. Don't spend a lot of money on it. Just buy things that are cheap. And put your frozen stuff in there. That'll keep everything else fresh. Right, so food, drink. You got your pot for boiling water. While the cooker's on, you can eat out of that pan because there's no need to take a plate. You got your fork or spoon. You got your food in the pan. It's cooked. It's ready to eat. Eat it out of the pan. No need to take a plate with you. Just eat it out of the pan. If you've got a small little frying pan and you've done something else in that pan, and a fried egg in that pan, pour the stuff into where you've done a fried egg, or take the fried egg out and put it into where you've done the pot. It's simple and easy. So everything out of there. You're going to need a drink after this. Water. Now then, what I do is we all drink soft drinks of one kind or another, I see loads of these people and they've got all these fancy water containers, and there's so many out there that you can go and get water with. I do say, if you're going to take it seriously, get a water filtering device because they are bloody handy. But if you're just taking water to have a cup of tea, like I do, I take the water for a cup of tea and to do a bit of washing up in the bowl that I've eaten out of for my dinner. I started off by buying the cheapest, 2 litres of 2 litres, the big bottles. They're 2 litres, 3 litres, I don't know. The big bottles of water from a supermarket. It was like 50 pence. 50p. So I bought that, and then when that runs out, I refill it from the tap. But while you're away camping, you can use that water as drinking water, and I use a little bit in the pan, warm it up from the gas that may be still on, or you relight it with your lighter, or a box of matches. Box of matches, just as good, just don't get them wet. And I wash up my pan. Once you've washed your pan up, of course, you can make a cup of tea with that pan. If you want to take a little camping kettle, again, they're really cheap, really cheap. Get a camping kettle, get a cup, take a cup from indoors if you want. You ain't got to be a special cup. You ain't got to buy a camping cup. Take one from indoors. If you break it, you got to buy another one. So don't break it. Or just go down a DIY shop and buy a, I don't know, cheap old mug. They're not expensive, you know, just do it. I have got mates who make a cup of tea in the pan that you've eaten out of, washed up with the water. Don't use too much washing up liquid because you'll never get that smell out. You could just use water. I do. I just use water really most of the time. It's just as easy. Just get all the sludge and the muck out of it, throw it away, put fresh water in it. My mate makes tea in that. He'll put about a cup load of water in there, boil it up, put the tea bag in, bit of sugar, mix it all around till it's tea shaped and coloured. Take the tea bag out, add the milk to taste, and he'll drink it out of the pot. It's tea. You know, it doesn't matter where you drink out of. Just because it's tea, it doesn't have to be in a cup like that, does it? It could be anywhere. So yeah, so there you go. Just save money. If you're just starting out, the idea is to enjoy yourself and save money. If you've got the money, if you want to go and buy all this expensive stuff, then by all means. But what you find yourself doing is you'll buy all this gear and then go, well, I don't need that, I don't need that. I mean, you know, you buy a cook set, there'll be five items in the cook set. You'll end up using 2 of them. You're thinking, why did I buy the whole set? I could have got this for like £5. You know. Anyway, so there you go. Just a few tips. It doesn't have to be expensive to be fun, and camping's fun. I go away at weekends. I go away for 2 or 3 days, 4 at the most, and what I've said to you is really what I take. That's it. And I've been camping a long time. You don't need all these highfalutin big you know, lighter things and all the posh stuff. Just don't need it. And the food wise, take what you want to eat what you want to take. That's about it really. That's about it. So yeah, any questions, any ideas? If you don't agree with me, that's fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind a conversation. It's fine. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm here to give you ideas. If you don't like the ideas, don't agree with the ideas, I don't mind. That's fine. This is what this is all about. It's a forum, medium, a swapping ideas thing. We'll go on to tents on another video, a further video. My voice is bad today, so I've been able to rattle on a bit. But we'll go on to tents on a further video, another day, because tents is a whole different ball game. And yes, you will buy some right ropey tents in your. If you're starting out, you will buy some wrong tents. I tell you, everybody does. I think that's about it. That's about it. I don't think I've missed anything. Again, yeah, I think that's about it. Okay, so keep it cheap, keep it simple. I was going to show you the view from where I'm sitting. Let me get my cap down. Right, so where I am, I'm in the middle of Northamptonshire. This is my upstairs window, as you probably guessed. Edge shed annex has come out again, and there you go. There's the view from my house. There you go, over there. That's it. If you look over that way, basically, if you can see the sheds and all that over there, if you look directly over them, let's see, I'm going to stand up there. If you look directly over there, that is Santapod, the raceway. And in the summer, when we have all the windows open and the wind's blowing a certain way, we can hear Santapod, the jet car and all that. It's really, really good. And when they have a firework display, it's great. I'll sit here and watch their firework display, and thank you very much, Santapod. It's about 3 miles, but because it's so flat, you can see it. It's really good. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it. That's where I live. This is my house. Welcome to my home. Annex Part 2. Stay safe, people. Speak to you soon. And like I said, please comment. I don't mind comments. I like comments, so please comment. I get a lot of comments that are not posted on here, but I get a lot of comments from friends that they'll text me a comment, or they'll give me a ring and say, "Hey Ed, you forgot to mention," or "Hey Ed, you didn't say," and all this. So yeah, if I forgot something, add, and I want you to add, and you want to add to it. I'll bring it up. Don't matter. Right. So with a bit of luck, we'll be back in the shed next time. Until then, stay safe, steer clear of the loonies, and see you later.